also had like undiagnosed ADHD, and I'm a very interest-based person. Like I really can't do something if I'm not interested in it. And so I didn't like doing my homework or anything, but I would be like hyper interested in these like writing projects that I would set out to do for myself. So like for language arts in middle school, we had to read like 25 books in the year and write a report in order to go on like a trip to like DC or whatever it was that year. And I like couldn't do that. Like I like
Hmm.
genuinely couldn't do that. But I didn't have like no one knew that I couldn't do that. I just was like, oh, how about instead of that, I'm gonna write a novel. And my teacher was like, great, you're like so much more advanced than everyone else. Like you don't even need to bother with reading these books. Just like write your novel. And I was like, great. And so I loved doing that. And I like started writing a novel in like seventh grade. And I was like insanely interested in it. It was like the only thing that mattered. And then I lost interest because I do have ADHD.
Your description of ADHD sounds a lot like me and something that I have
Oh,
not been diagnosed
I,
with formally, but I have the same thing of like, if this
yeah,
is not, I've worked a bunch of different jobs where I'm like, well, this isn't what I want to do. I'm barely going to function here. I can put off writing for a while if I'm not feeling it, and then I can write like a screenplay in 10 days,
yeah,
Is
yeah.
do I have ADHD
You
diagnosed?
do. You
Okay,
do.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. It sounds like we're very similar in the way that we work and the way that we're motivated. And I think that a lot of people who are like that, who have ADHD, it takes them a really long time to get to be diagnosed because like we are functioning, we are able to like create these systems to function in our lives. We've found
Hmm.
careers and like work habits and all of that that like keep us going and that work for our brains. For girls, like for me, the hyperactivity was inside my brain. It was like blah, 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 like all the time, like crazy. I was in my head. So
Hmm.
it is harder to diagnose ADHD when it like comes up in certain ways. But I'd be happy to like diagnose you. I feel like every time I talk to friends about like my revelations of ADHD, like half the time they're like, oh.